As Victor has said, my name is Boniface L'Souza. For those who know me, I've been training marketers for the past, I think, 11 or so years. Currently at Simon Page College of Marketing. And we're glad to be here. And part of the things that happened during the assessment when you are looking at what you had submitted, my fellow judges agreed that I will not be in the panel for next year, maybe because of what the bar looks like and what we are getting in comparison to what the expectations were. Anyway, I'm not saying that I'm the Ian of the judging, but before we say much, I think maybe just 2 or 3 comments for the following reason. Again, for those who know me, you know I'm a self-proclaimed polygamist of careers. Started off in finance accounting, certified public accountant of Kenya, before then crossing over to the marketing field. So there's one question here. Why is it that marketing, and especially our marketing budgets, are usually the low-hanging fruit for finance people when they are slashing, when they are reducing, when they are having all those conversations? And the answer is simple, that value is demonstrated, value is not explained. For a very long period of time, as marketers, we have been accused of providing what is called a lip service and not necessarily demonstrating where the numbers are. And we're saying this because during the assessment of the submissions that we saw, there was quite some observations in terms of how then do we carry on the conversation from what we have done, yes, to actually demonstrating where the business metrics ideally are. And we realize that maybe that is something as marketers that we need to maybe interrogate ourselves and be able to see how then do we actually demonstrate the value that we are offering. One of the things that a phenomenon we've seen in marketing is sometimes what we call the lipstick phenomena, where on the surface we appear as if we are doing so much, but when now we are called to demonstrate exactly what we are doing, we really are lost for words because, hey, it is the organization to understand why we are there as marketers. But as we've said, and I think I concur in all the speakers here, that it is not them to understand what you are doing. It is for us to demonstrate exactly what you are doing. And the journey ahead is quite interesting. To help us with all this, there is something that therefore we saw, and maybe a point of recognition for the young marketers who also did their submissions. When it comes to this whole issue, because all the speakers have alluded to one thing, let us demonstrate, let us show value, let us have those conversations. The question is, how do I do that? And the first thing that we do is that as marketers, we usually have our criteria or our checklist, which we commonly refer to as the marketing mix. The marketing mix of the 4 Ps or anything like that helps us understand the activities. The problem usually is that we have to know how to carry on these activities, but also now help demonstrate the outcomes of our activities. And this is where the problem is, that most of our outcomes are about what we did and not what we achieved. The organization will spend on you if you show them that this is exactly what I achieved. It is at the point of achievement that we start discussing the impact that marketing had on the bottom line of the organization. And to allude to what Eric had said earlier, as a marketer, do you need to understand the financial side of the business? And my assessment has always been yes. But that doesn't mean that we are creating accountants out of you. What it means is that you have to understand where the boundaries are, where marketing interacts with AI, where marketing interacts with finance, where marketing interacts with HR. You provide more value there at the point of what you call your boundary scanning. I do pray that the young marketers whom we are recognizing today, as part of our Rising Stars, will take up to that challenge, and it is my expectation that maybe in the coming years, we shall see more and more of you actually submit all these amazing things that you are doing, because when someone also looks at what you are doing, and then assess and tell you that maybe this is the area we want you to correct. We get to learn more from each other. So thank you so much for those of us who submitted. But another thing, before I call out from our assessment, what we thought was very impressive, we also need to encourage the boy child. How many men are left right now? Because there's usually the thing that marketing is not a profession for men. How many men, just by the show of hands, are in the room right now? Clearly, you can see. I was telling Victor that, again, over the 10 years of teaching, I have never seen a class where the gender representation in marketing is 50-50. All the time, we're usually about 70% female, 30% male. So we also acknowledge that as men, we also need our own role models, and we are hoping that we're beginning this journey together. So in the next year submissions, I really do encourage the young men under 35 to also make their contribution, and let us see how to take this profession one step ahead. So then, without much ado, and on behalf of the other judges who could not make it to this point, Yvonne, Esther, June, David, from our assessment, these are some of those stars that we felt we need to be watching, and I'll not call in order of merit,